Hello and welcome to Rage Quit. My name is Jay, and today I'm going to be talking about why I think Monsters and Mercenaries is a little bit of a mistake. Not necessarily a massive mistake, but a little bit of a mistake. Now, the very astute of you who've seen some videos of mine before will be like, Jay, what the hell has happened to your voice? I just have a sore throat and I'm losing my voice a little bit. And yeah, that's it. I'm just a little bit unwell. I do apologise. I'll try and keep this video short and sweet so that one, to save my voice, and two, to save your ears. Although I think I'd actually like it if I sounded like this all the time. I think I sound pretty nice, but yeah, whatever. So first, I'm talking about why I think Monsters and Mercenaries is a little bit of a mistake. Now, this is with a massive caveat in that I actually quite like it in many ways, and I only really have two main problems with it. And there's quite a few. I sort of like the vibe that I get from the book. I was just watching like Guerrilla Miniatures Games like review of it. I really sort of like it, but the two main reasons are it's too soon because there's match play involved. I mentioned on my last video that if there was match play involved, then it was too soon, and it is too soon for that. And we'll talk about more of that in a minute. And my second complaint is that essentially we're gonna now have a mixture of cards and a book that has rules. They're literally the only complaints. This, I don't want to compare it to like Kill Team, because I did a video when Kill Team's Commanders came out, and I was like, Commanders is a mistake, and I believe that was a massive mistake, whereas I believe this is a minor mistake. Still mistakes, but there you have it, right? And the reason this isn't a massive mistake is the points level stays the same, which doesn't split the community, basically. If I come against you and you want to play with something out of that book and you've got your model painted, well, in theory, if it's balanced, which we got to hope and presume it is balanced, you've paid the right points for that combo, which in theory I would expect to be a little bit higher than normal because of certain like interplay, that kind of thing. Like what's it called? Like when something's good together, synergies. There we go. Like they will have pointed it, keeping in mind the synergies that might unexpectedly happen. So in theory, your mercenary should be slightly higher points, and you've only got one, but in theory, you should be paying a fair point price for that, and the game should still be just as fun, right? So in that sense, I don't really mind it, and all the like campaign and narrative stuff, I actually think that was pretty damn cool. I sort of think that could have been in the original book. That would maybe be my only complaint, but then I guess the book would be massively thick, and they didn't want to do that, and maybe couldn't do that. So for £15, which isn't a lot of money, but it's still something extra you've got to pay on top of your models, etc. Yeah, the campaign narrative stuff I think is actually really cool, and if that was the kind of game I was into, I would buy that. No questions asked. It's only really like the match play and the speed of which we've got that. So the couple of things I'll very briefly show you this, although you could probably already know if you're into this. It's on the website right now for pre-order. It's gone live today. It will come out next week. And there's a few pictures and stuff like that. Guerrilla Miniature Games like sits there and goes through the entire book. If you want to go check him out, I do recommend him. He does a lot of good stuff anyway. And interestingly, if you go on the boxed games section here, you can then click Warcry and click Allies, and you can just see all the allies, or you can go check out his video, either way. Now, essentially, they're selling all of their individual models, like for the Chaos and stuff like that, and the Sigmarines and all that kind of good stuff. And these guys look absolutely cool. I really like them. Because these are all the characters that they released for their previous game. It's actually a really good way of GW getting rid of old models that maybe aren't selling as well. Or maybe some that do sell well, but they just like. Like, I actually think if this release would have been 6 months down the line, I would have been like, that's absolutely fantastic. I really like it. And some of the cool looking models, they're going to really mix up some of the factions. I actually think, really, it's a good idea. I just think what we know, it came out at the end of July. We're now early September. Today's actually my birthday for when this goes live, by the way. Not that you bothered, but there you have it. So what's that? It's been literally a month and 2 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that in total. 6 weeks in total. It's on the soon side. So like now you go to a tournament and your allies are particular, like whatever faction you are, so Chaos, Order, Balance, whatever, Destruction, whatever they are. You can have one model from match play, right? Which it's all right. It's a good idea. I just think 6 weeks after the game, we've not we've not really had major tournaments or anything like that. Like, it's like they don't care about the match play, about like community. They don't care about the tournament community. They only care about getting their stuff released and sold, which I understand. Like, of course, GW want to get this out there and sold, but I want to see like tournament results. I want to see people play it properly, competitively. The match, like you've got match plays, you've set it up for that as well. So it's not like I'm just making this up. I know at Warhammer World having an event in December, some bigger tournaments were forming, but now we've got. So we never had a meta. We never had an indication of what was good, bad, and that kind of stuff. And I know a lot of gamers not really bothered about that. There was a guy who made a video and posted it on Facebook, going through the maths of the factions and stuff like that. And I didn't actually check the video out, but I was like, I'm interested in that. And I read the comments, and people were like, "This is the opposite of interesting." And I was like, "Damn!" I'm like, that actually is that's interesting to me. I'm gonna come back and watch that video. But each to their own, isn't it? Like nobody's right. I personally would have. I mean, for match play, I think it's a bit soon. But for everything else, I actually really like it. And I would have preferred, and I've said this before, just to have new boxes of stuff. Like, what if you just repackaged each of these miniatures with their own card and like specific rules, and it was actually assigned to a faction? You don't even need it to be a mercenary; they just belong in that faction. That's the way I personally would have liked to have seen it. And each one could have, like, we could have had one for every faction, and that could have been a massive release, and that would have been cool. I personally just would have, like, really liked that. So that's it. I only think basically it is too soon for match play. I think for everything else, it's all optional stuff anyway. I know there's a pressure from GW to like they push things quickly because they want you to buy things quickly, because that's how that like feel and hype works. Like Warcry in 6 months' time will be a very different beast to Warcry now. Look at Kill Team. Kill Team's not had like a major release for a little while, but it's settled now. But that's because GW pushed everything out. So once Warcry has had everything pushed out, then we'll settle. And they do that because they want you to buy their stuff, and there's a pressure to buy it. There's a hype train, if you will. So it's too soon in general. But if it's an optional thing, it's not really too soon because you have that option. But for match play, for sure, I do think it's too soon. That's why I think it's a mistake. And the second mistake, which is I alluded to but never really spoke about, is we now have rules in a book versus rules on cards. They did half of one thing and half of another. The rules on cards was very like FFG, X-Wing based kind of thing, and I like that. That was one thing. I was like, oh, GW they're growing up, they're adapting, they're learning, they're doing some cool stuff. And then it's like, here's a book of allies that you can take one ally in a match play game, and there's 50 of them. It's like, are you selling cards for those? No, we're not selling cards for those. Well, we don't think they are. Oh, the sun's gone down. I've gone very dark. I do apologise. Yeah, like, we don't think they're selling rules for them or what have you. And now you go and play, you've got to now take the rule book, the Mercenaries book, the cards that you already had. It now becomes more and more of a faff. If you could have just took your cards, your models, and the rule book, I feel like that would have been better. So I'm off. That's it. My voice is going. Well, it's already gone, but I'm here. I made the video. So it's I go back to the start. I think it's a mistake, but there's different levels of mistakes, isn't there? Like, accidentally stumping your toe, whilst very painful, would be very different to, like, accidentally falling in front of a train. Do you know what I mean? Although I guess the intent for that, it's just clumsiness, and neither's an intent. But, you know, I'm not in the right frame of mind for that discussion. I'll be back when my voice is back. I really want to start talking more about Marvel Crisis Protocol. Apparently that might be out at the end of October, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I'm gonna go and play World of Warcraft. Have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.